Okay, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a little bit something different. I showed all my paint guns in the last video, and I had my good brother Chris at CNC Auto Works wanted to know a little bit more about paint guns. So we're going to get into this, do a little minor rebuild. Probably 20-25 years ago, I used to paint cars, got a bunch of paint guns, was actually a service technician, and rebuilt paint guns, rebuilt pumps, powder coating equipment. Just don't have no video from 25 years ago. But we'll get into this and show you a few things about this gun and a few things what to do and what not to do when you take it apart. So we'll set you up and we'll be back in a minute. Okay, we're back. We're going to give you a few tips on taking a gun apart, what to do, what not to do. Pretty much just go through this little gun and clean it up and put a couple new gaskets in it. And so we'll get started. First of all, this is a gravity fed gun, so you have a cup on top. Some guns are siphon fed and you actually have a cup hanging off of it. So pretty much most of the cups will generally just screw off the top. Some of them do have threads or flats right here where you can put a wrench on, but this one does not. So you can see right here, this one actually has that. This one has a little gasket. All of them has a little gasket, so when it seals down, and if you got a pretty good gasket, you ain't really got to have the cup screwed down real tight anyway. So next, we're going to take off the air cap and the retaining ring, which is usually, if you don't screw them on there with a pair of pliers, you can take it off. And then you've got your retaining ring and you have your air cap. And you have little tiny holes here and here, and you have holes here and here, and this is what the actual air blows through and atomizes the paint. So when you do get done painting something, don't ever stick anything in these holes. Anything metal, if you distort any of these holes in these air caps, and I think I got one over here. This one right here, you can see it. This one right here has been tore up. It's a prime example of do not stick nothing in the holes when you're cleaning it up. If you damage it, your paint won't spray right. It can spray off to one side, it can spray to this side, it just not spray right. So whatever you do, don't stick anything in these holes. If you have to, take a toothbrush or something like that, and if you have to get anything in there, take a toothpick. Nothing that's going to damage the metal. Okay. Second, put the gun in the vise, and always protect your paint gun. Don't put a bunch of gouge marks on the side of it. That's where you hold it. So if you go to grabbing it and you've got gouge marks on it, that's not going to be good. Okay, here is what we're going to do here. We're going to take the needle out, which is behind this cap here. There's a spring in here that's spring loaded on the needle. That's pushing the needle to the nozzle. What you always want to do before you take this off, always take this off and get the tension off of the spring and get it off of the needle. You don't want to twist this. You want to take the tension off of it. So take the cap and the spring out and push the needle back. You can see it actually hung back and now it's not touching the tip. So we're going to put our socket on here and we're going to take the tip out. Which I think this tip is still good. I think it's just dirty. We'll find out when we hook it up after we get done. It's still got some paint in it, but it's not got too much damage on it. Generally, if you take care of one decently, it'll last for a long time. So now what we're gonna do is see if we can pull the spring out. Not the spring, the needle. So let's see if we can get a good video. You can see where the packing's going on the needle a little bit, but overall it don't look too bad. The packing that I'm talking about is the one that's right here. It's right here in the where this little nut is. There's a little packing in there that keeps paint from coming out of here and leaking past the needle. Okay, so let's see, take this off. Here's the baffle, which it always sits on there like it. Yeah, this is actually what distributes the air around and then sends it through the air cap. And you got a little gasket right there that seals to the front. So this gun here, and a lot of guns nowadays do not have this. And really, I never did understand why they had a second control for the air pattern either. But I was going to say there is also a O-ring in here. So you have to take the little clip off and pull it apart, put a new O-ring on it, put it back together, put it back in. That one didn't want to come out. When you go to put the gun back together, you got to get it tight, but you ain't got to get it super tight. So this is pretty much just like the other one, and both of them comes apart the same way. And that just basically controls your pattern. So if you want to have a wide pattern, depending on the size of the tip and size of the actual nozzle that you have in the gun, you can get up to a 12-inch pattern down to a small, and this right here will allow you, if you want to go down to a dot, you can go down to a dot and draw something. Once we get it hooked up, I'll show you the adjustments a little bit better. Okay, give me a minute. I got to grab a couple tools and we'll be back. Okay, next, if you're just going to tear it completely apart, we'll take the handle off of it. And I was trying to take the handle off it. I think I'm still going to take the handle off of it, but I'm gonna have to cut one of these off. They just don't want to come off. Or I'm gonna try something off the camera. Kind of tired of messing with it tonight. But you would take this other nut off here, in which we'll take it off in the next video. And there's a little packing that goes in here. You take this air valve off that controls your trigger spray for the air. There's a little packing in here, and also there's a packing in here that keeps the air from leaking out here. But I generally, out of thousands of them that I rebuilt, if the gun was in fairly decent condition, I didn't mess with that gasket. I did all the rest of the gasket, but just pretty much wasting time. And if it wouldn't come out, it's a circle and it's not real thick, and you end up wallering it to the point where the knob won't screw back in. So, all right, I guess we're going to end this video, and we'll get back on it tomorrow. Peace.